When I joined Sasria in 1986, it was Sasria didn't deal at all with the direct public. In fact, we didn't even deal with brokers. How we dealt was, at that time, the insurance companies used to settle the claims on behalf of Sasria. So when I started, what we used to do was get all these claims that had already been settled with the insured, and we would then adjudicate the claims, look at them and say, yes, they do fall within the ambit of the Sasria cover, or they didn't, and then reimburse the insurance companies. And then when Mark Stradham came on board, the ethos at Sasria, or the way people looked at Sasria, was this dinosaur. The two of us then embarked on a roadshow where we went to all over the country to visit the different insurance institutes, and we tried to interact with both the brokers and the insurance companies and give them a little bit more information about why Sasria did things the way they did things, the reasons why we were so pedantic on certain issues, such as the cover, because if you being the only insurance company at the time that covered risks like that, yes, we did have the monopoly, but you also had to be careful, because if you didn't handle each and every single claim in a very pedantic manner and exactly the same, you could create precedents. And then what would happen was an insurance company would come and say, but you settled that claim that way, why are you not settling our claim in the same way? So there were no ex gratia payments as there were in conventional insurance. And we tried to explain why we had to be the way we were. And we offered training sessions to all the insurance company staff. I myself used to do the training at that stage, where we would go and explain the cover that Sasria provided, because obviously in the beginning, when Sasria was formed, it only covered politically motivated incidents. And as it evolved through time, then we also started covering non-politically motivated incidents and labor disturbance, public disturbance, and terrorism. The problem with that was that obviously, because it was the first time cover had been provided, of this nature of cover had been provided, people were still unsure of what constituted a Sasria claim and what constituted malicious damage in terms of the conventional insurance. But as time went on, obviously, everybody got to understand the risk better, we got to understand the cover better, and obviously we were sued in any insurance company, and the best way to get exactly what your policy covers is basically to be sued, because then you get a legal precedent and you can rely on the legal precedent. Okay, and what people needed to understand with Sasria as well, Sasria covers events, big events. They cover big riots, they cover big marches, they cover big labor disturbances. It has to be seen as a catastrophic insurer. At the end, when I left in 2007, we were dealing with the brokers. We'd never ever dealt with the insureds direct, because we never ever sold the policy to them directly, and they never paid Sasria directly. The premiums were always paid to the insurance company. And also Sasria wasn't a policy, it was a coupon. In other words, you couldn't go and buy your policy from Sasria, because you had to have a conventional insurance policy first for Sasria to attach to incorporate the terms and conditions. So there was no way that you could deal directly with the insureds. There wasn't a lot of interference from government at all, which I admire government for that, because the company could still carry on paying the risks, paying the claims, could still provide the cover that it did. But what was nice was they also allowed Sasria to grow. And after I left, when I was there, we were looking at providing full loss of profits cover, because at the time when I was there, Sasria only covered standing charges. So you never ever looked at putting a person in a better position than they were previous to the loss. So you would then, if there was a material damage loss, you would pay the standing charges of so like their rent, so to ensure that they could still pay their rent, their salaries, and that the business could carry on running, but no loss of profit. There was, and now Sasria does cover loss of profit, and that was a very, very big gap in the market. And it was the brokers and the insurance companies were on at Sasria continuously to look at providing that cover. And I was very, very glad after I'd left to see that they actually did go ahead and provide that cover.